Hello friendos, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna go from being a straight goblin to this full glam look that you see right here. Now to do so, I will be using products from my Boxycharm box. And number one, the very first thing that we're gonna get into today by request is the Lunar Beauty Nude Prism palette. So that's the very first thing that we will cover today. We'll also be diving into the Dominique Cosmetics Cream Blush, the iconic London Multi-Use Sculpting palette, and my new Luxy Sponges. I can't wait to try all of this on in front of you guys, chat it up, give my thoughts, and you guys tell me what you think. And I don't want to wait a second longer. Friendos, just stay tuned. So friendos, we're going to go about this a different way than what I normally do on my channel today. You guys know I normally do my base makeup first, but today we are going to test out the Lunar Beauty palette first, because I know that's probably what most of you came here for. All right, 1 second, I'm going to get my brows on and then we will get into this palette. So let's try out the Shadow Light Longwear eyeshadow primer. This was from Sandbar. This did show up in my first box and I've yet to try it out, so today's the day. Off the bat, this feels really oily, which is interesting because it looks like it would be dry, considering it has a crack in the tube. I've never had an eye primer feel so oily. I hope this doesn't ruin our look today. So my first impression of the product is it did dry down. I personally like a drier primer. Reason being, I'm oily skinned. I have very oily eyelids, and a lot of times if something is on the creamier side, during the day, I will start to see creasing, and I don't like that. I mean, who does? I don't think it's gonna affect the initial look for this video, but it might start to look bad as the day goes on. But let's get into this. So here are the shades. I know you guys wanna see some swatches. We'll show you those right now. And now that we're back, let me know what you think of those swatches. Melissa said this looked like an ultimate wedding palette. I think she's right. I do think that this looks like beautiful pink blush inspired makeup for weddings. So on my Sephora crease brush, we are going to go in with this shade right here, Bare. This is Bare, it's not showing up. Are you seeing anything? Okay, could it be the eye primer? It's just not. Okay, let me swatch this in my hand. All right, it does look different in the pan from when I swatched it just now. So I'm going to go in with the shade Cherry Blossom. I'm pretty excited to give this palette a go because I've never tried anything from Lunar Beauty before and I've always wanted to. I don't, okay. So on a swatch, like you see it, is it this eye primer? Is that even a thing? Okay, it might be this eye primer, guys. I'm really not sure. This is just strange. So there's the actual swatch. Shows up a little bit. It's not as pigmented as I would like, but it does show up. I'm sorry, guys. I really did want to like this. We're just off to a rough start. We'll go in with I'm Shy. It's more peachy shade. Okay, none of this is showing up. I'm going to try to take off this primer real quick and I'll be back to you guys and put on my P. Louise base and then see if we get better results. I'll be right back to you guys. All right, take two. We're gonna try this again. So going in with Bear once more. I still don't see it. Going in with Cherry Blossom. It's showing up. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that that primer is doo-doo. Yes, very scientific word, doo-doo. And not that this pigment is super pigmented by any stretch. I'm really having to build this up. These are lighter shades, but at least it's showing up now. I'm just going all over the lid with Cherry Blossom. I get to be very haphazard, very dangerous today since I'm doing my eyeshadow first. I can go a little crazy and not have to worry about the fallout. Next up, on a crappy ABH brush, we're gonna go in with the shade Apricot. Or if you're from the South like me, it's Apricot. Doesn't that just sound lovely? This one I would say is a soft terracotta. This one is definitely packing a lot more pigment than the other shade that I put down. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Classic, and this is just a classic neutral chocolate brown. I would say milk chocolate brown. So this one is okay. It is taking a little bit of work to blend out. Also, sparkles are kind of getting everywhere on my palette. So I do see some sparkles on my lid now. Yay. Then I'm going to go back on that same brush. I'm going to dip into Sakura and take this color down. I'm really going to get sloppy today, guys. It's fine. I'm wiping down that same brush, and it is a Units 203 in case I did not say that a moment ago. I don't think I did. I'm going to go back in with Apricot. Now I'm going to use a trick that I learned from a pro MUA, and that is just if you have something that's a terracotta or an orangey peach, you can bring it down lower and then you don't need as much concealer because the color correction will already be there. You guys just wait and see, it works. She knew what she was talking about. So now I'm going to go in with Bloom For You. This is probably the warmest and one of the darkest shades in the palette. It's not very warm, but just ever so slightly you can see a little tinge of cranberry in here. And I am going in with my Morphe M506. Just giving myself a little bit more of that deep precision. Then on a random Eco Tools brush, we're going to go in with the shade right here. This is the black shade in the palette. I just want to see how dark it is and if it applies well. Black shadows are one of the hardest to formulate, so let's see if it's good. I'm going to start with patting this onto the lower lash line and then we'll go up above. Next up on my Hourglass 12, we'll go in with the shade So Icy. Now this picked up very nicely on the brush. I didn't struggle at all. I am seeing a bit of fallout. That's not a big deal today because I'm not doing my base first. It's not like a shit ton of fallout either. I'm just seeing some down here. Okay, so let's spray it and see its maximum blingy capabilities. Ooh, that's very pretty. Next up, we'll go in with the shade Sam. I think that one is super pretty. It's a nice baby pink sparkly shade. So I'll be real with you guys, on the eye, I don't think this shows up as pretty and pinky as what it did in the pan. I'm really trying to build it up, but I don't know. I wish it was a little bit more pigmented. And now, friendos, I'm just going around the edges to clean everything up. Alrighty, friendos, I'm going to actually clean up my eye off camera. I'm going to apply liner and lashes and I'll be right back to you. Okay guys, I am back with a confession. I have been struggling with my allergies and today I sneezed while I was finishing everything up. I really caused a lot of bleeding on my eyes between my eyeliner and everything. So I'm going to probably deepen up the under eye just to hide what happened. Yeah, just to hide the disaster. That's what we're gonna do. All right, so I'll go in with the shade Moody under my eyes. I'm going in with an NJCE06. And it looks like my eyeliner really did bleed a lot more on this side, so I'll go back in with I'll go back in with Deeper and darken things up even more. This might turn into a reverse cat eye look. Okay. So before we get into actually cleaning everything up, doing the base makeup and everything, I'm just going to go ahead and summarize my thoughts on this palette. This normally retails for $48. I don't think I would be happy paying $48 for this. On Boxycharm, you can purchase this for $15, or at least you were able to purchase it for $15 if you had been a member at the time. I'm not sure if it's still available up on the site. I feel like a better price point for this palette would be around $30. This was made in China. I'm guessing this was probably made for around $6 if I had to speculate. I don't know that for a fact. Again, this is just my speculation, but I'm thinking this probably got made for around $6. The packaging is lovely. I do like the overall aesthetic. I like the color scheme that he has in here. I like all the mattes. I think the shimmers down the center is a really good look. Now, with that said, as far as the quality of the eyeshadows inside, I would give them probably a C+. So they're above the standard Morphe. They're below ColourPop, in my opinion. You definitely can make these work, but it just takes more time to build up the pigment and to blend things out versus most of the palettes that I have in my collection. Now, keep in mind, I'm a total snob and I buy a lot of very high-end and luxurious makeup. So if you compare this to, say, drugstore, this is... this would definitely like be on the top tier. As far as my first impressions from the brand, if I buy anything else from the brand, it'll be after I watch a review and probably after it goes on sale, just knowing that they're kind of taking the cheap route. And to be honest, if I know that it's coming from China, then I'm just not going to pick this up. Not trying to be too negative here. Again, it's a good palette. It's not a fabulous palette. Okay, one other thing that I did want to point out about the shimmers that I used. Now, mind you, I did only use 2. These are not super opaque, blindingly metal sparkly shimmers. Like, I can definitely see through these even after building them up and building them up. That's okay. I just want to make you guys aware of that these aren't the most amazing shimmers of your life. And the pink one, it looks more of a copper than a pink on my eyes. Okay, enough of me accidentally dragging this brand. I didn't mean to. Let's move on and try some other things. All right, about to look a little weird, friendos. Going to put on some concealer. This did not come from Boxycharm. This is my YSL Touche Éclat High Cover Concealer. Okay, and this has a long dry down time, so I'm going to leave it on there for a minute while we test out the iconic London face palette. So this is called a multi-use sculpting palette. This is what she looks like. I know I got fingerprints all over it. This is what she looks like inside. Mine has weird looking little water spots on it. This is another product that I feel just right off the bat, unless it's amazing, that it's overpriced. So yeah, on Ulta, this is $49. It was probably made for around $3 in China. Just saying. Again, speculation. I don't know that for a fact, but that would be my educated guess. So I'm going to use this as both my foundation and my contour today. So we will start out with this shade right here as my foundation. So far the finish is pretty enough. Doesn't look bad at all. I'm going to use this shade right here as my contour. Ooh, that is darker than what I thought it was on the pan. It's okay. Just Kind of see if I can pick up from there and kind of use the rest. And I'm taking it down my neck. This actually does match my arms pretty much. Might be a little bit darker, but I want it for that chiseled look. All right, now we want to test out one of these new little Luxy sponges. I'm gonna go wet this and I'll be right back to you guys. And just so we don't lose any coverage, because I've never used this sponge before, it doesn't have any product on it, I'm going to hit this with just the tiniest little flash of Dior Air Flash Spray. So, just like that. Okay, let's get into it. Actually, I don't even know if I hit the sponge. There we go. There, now it's on there. This has a very interesting texture. It feels a little bit like sandpaper, but not like in a bad way. It just feels more rough than any sponge I've ever owned. What I will say for that texture though is I feel like I have a very good grip on my sponge. So guys, I'm feeling pretty good about how this contour turned out. I think it looks really nice. I don't really have that much to say about it. I really like the shade range in there. I really feel like it would fit some of the lightest people all the way up to some of the darkest people. I do think that if you are a pro makeup artist, having something like that in your carrying kit would be a good thing to have. So now I have this Dominique Cosmetics cream blush. I have not heard a lot of good things about this. I'm going to try to put that out of my mind and just form my own opinion though. So this is in the shade Soft Pink. We'll go in with the bouncy side of this sponge. I'm going to squeeze it together just like that. It's not really picking up a lot on the sponge. I kind of hit it with my fingernail. Lovely. Let's try it like this. Okay, so we got plenty on there. So I think this looks fine. Not amazing, but it looks pretty nice. I feel like on this side it went on smoother, and I'm seeing like a little bit more patchiness on this other side. It is hard to pick up though. That's what I will say. All right, let me clean up my edges a bit. Wow. All right, I'm trying to think if I have anything else to try. All right, so I'm only 2 boxes in. It doesn't appear that I have any lip products to try from Boxycharm, so I'm just gonna pick something and come back to you guys. All right, guys, I'm back, no longer looking like a goblin, thank God. So in case you are wondering, this is just Pat McGrath Labs Suburbia Lip Pencil and Pat McGrath Labs Divine Rose Lust Gloss. Really simple. So out of everything that I tried out today, I think the thing that I was most impressed with was the iconic London Contour Palette. I do think that it was really nice. It smoothed out easily. I don't see any patchiness. It was just really easy to work with and very pigmented. I also thought that the lighter shade actually made for a very nice base foundation. Second winner would be the Dominique Cosmetics Cream Blush. I know a lot of people haven't liked it. I will say it was a little bit hard to get it to go on the sponge, but once it was on there, it looked pretty nice. I wouldn't say like you need to run out there and get it, but I mean, I liked it. If you just really love Kristen Dominique and you want to pick up something from her line, I don't necessarily think that you would be disappointed by that blush. At least I'm not. Again, Manny's Lunar Beauty Palette. It's okay. It's literally just okay. And listen, guys, I don't try to get involved with any of these online celebrities' lives. Like, I know I buy a lot from Jeffree Star Cosmetics. I don't think they get along or something. But I don't really follow these people, and I'm really just into the makeup and the products. I'm really not into the people. But with that said, I've had a lot of people ask me to compare the two as far as eyeshadows are concerned. Overall, I really like Jeffree's formula better. Jeffree does have a couple of palettes that I'm not too crazy about that I would rate the Lunar Beauty above, but overall, there's just no comparison. JSC's a lot better. Oh, and the Luxy Sponges. I like them. Now, I'm not an expert on sponges. I don't use a sponge every day, but I did really like the sponges. I like how they were easy to grip. I fumble and I'm clumsy and I'm just not very good at holding things in my hand. So to have it have some texture and some weight to it where I could hold it in my hand was really nice. and I don't really think it sucked up a lot of products, so I'm happy with those as well. And friendos, now I want to hear from you. Have you all subscribed to Boxycharm? Have you ever considered it? What did you think of the palette and its performance from what you saw today? I always love hearing back from you guys. Y'all are so insightful and fun to talk to, so I always appreciate when you leave me comments and let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all so much. If you did watch all the way to the end, I definitely appreciate you doing so. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and of course subscribe if you have not done so already, because if not, we'll both have to live in the sorrow of never knowing what could have been. Okay guys, have a phenomenal rest of your day. Bye.